Now, streamlining the online shopping experience has never been more important, and Bolt is at the forefront of making checkout faster, easier, and more personalized for millions of shoppers around the world, with big plans for 2025. And I recently sat down with Justin Grooms. He is the CEO of Bolt to talk more about what's next.
Bolt has been around for, like you mentioned, a little over a decade. We have some of the largest enterprise merchants in the United States, multi-billion-dollar merchants like Revolve, a lot of other famous, well-known household brands. What we've seen over that time and the 80 million shoppers that are in Bolt's network is that we can provide identity in an accelerated solution to large merchants while allowing those merchants to maintain their own brand identity and not have to share a buying experience with some other third party. That's been revolutionary in this space, where so much of the checkout space is focused on people adding buttons or other brands, and instead we're enabling these large enterprise merchants to really highlight their own brand but provide that accelerated and quick checkout solution that consumers expect.
Can you talk to me more about how you go about customizing that checkout experience through the use of AI in your technology?
Absolutely. So with over a decade of data and 80 million consumers, like I mentioned, we are able to collect significant indications from our consumers of what they're looking for when they're checking out, what types of payments that they might prefer when they're coming through, different shipping addresses. We might have expectations that their shipping addresses have changed or might be wrong, or there's better options for them. So we're able to pull all of this together and allow these large enterprise merchants to really have an experience that up until this point only folks like Amazon have been able to deliver. We now, with the layering on some of the AI tools that we're seeing, what we're able to put is even more actionable intelligence for those retailers and merchants to be able to say, what should I be presenting to this consumer right now, in sort of an adaptive real-time form.
But how do you go about streamlining all of that data? I mean, we're talking about over 80 million customers that you are taking this data, implementing it, and personalizing it in your checkout experience.
Yeah.
That's not an easy feat.
It's not an easy thing, and I think that what the big difference is that we see is that we're very focused on being able to provide that information to the individual merchants and retailers so that they can adapt their solution for the needs of their individual customers. High-end European luxury brand groups that we work with have very different requirements for their consumers and what they expect a checkout experience to feel like and look like than maybe a larger auto parts supplier that we're working with. The big thing that we're trying to do too is understand, with all of these insights on different consumers, what types of payments and what types of shipping methods they might be most interested in. So we can do something that's almost paradoxical, is we can offer a wide variety of choices of different payment methods, buy now, pay later, real-time payments, credit card, whatever it may be, but actually present the ones we think will be most relevant to those individual consumers, so they have a lot of options, but actually they're not forced to make a choice from a very long list. That's been revolutionary.
How has the e-commerce boom impacted your overall business strategy?
It's been really revolutionary, right? The last couple of years, we certainly saw a lot of stretch in people buying things online that traditionally they were going into stores, right? I think that there's a lot of people who order groceries now that are delivered to their house that never would have imagined doing it. Food delivered to their house that never would have imagined doing it before. What we're seeing now is that consumers have an expectation that they're going to have that same curated personal experience online that they used to receive when they'd go into their favorite restaurant or retail store when they were there. So that's really changed folks' expectations of what does it mean to be known? What does it mean to be known through the entire process? And we've been very fortunate as a company that we were well positioned to help to solve for that and provide that identity to retailers in such a seamless way that allowed them to own the relationship with their customers.
What are your top priorities for the rest of the year?
The biggest priority that we're looking at right now in 2025 is is around providing choice to consumers and to merchants in a way that's digestible and usable. A colleague of mine likes to give the example of a couple of years ago there was this trend of moving away from cable TV and into individual apps, for instance, on your home TV. And then that sort of emerged into, now we all have these various different logins to get to different apps, might have 2 subscriptions here or there. That same issue exists in checkout. There's been tons of innovation in the payment space with different buy now, pay laters, real-time payments, different card offerings. But what we haven't seen yet is someone coming together and presenting all of that to consumers in a way that's digestible behind one single identity. What I want as a consumer, and what I think we're hearing from a lot of the largest merchants that we deal with, is they want to provide to customers a single identity layer where behind that the merchant can provide all the relevant and best payment and checkout options to the consumer without that consumer having to worry about logging into different solutions or wondering which type of payment solution is best for them at that time.